We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because we have to talk about this bounce that is going on right now in crypto. Buyers are coming in, the manipulation seems to be over, and there is a much more that is happening at the moment that points in the direction of monetary expansion, even though it doesn't seem like it in the very first moment when we're looking at it. So all that is relevant for crypto, companies are buying. I think we're looking at a very bullish sentiment, and I want to talk about it in this live stream right now. So good morning each and every one of you. Make sure as the very first thing to smash up the like button right now if you enjoy these live streams, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, notifications on. And I want to thank all of these rare hodlers. I mean, look at how many of the rare hodlers are here on this wall supporting this channel. That's absolutely massive. Echo. Oh, I think it should be fixed now. Let me know if it's fixed. And again, echo still should be fixed now. To be honest, I have removed one of the audio inputs that was falsely activated. Okay, great. So let me just remove that one entirely, and now it should be good. Okay. Great, fixed now. So let's continue here. So thank you all, and let's jump right into the action. I have seen the comment from Dan O, and I will address it when we get to it about Ecomi. But let's first look at this. So this is obviously insane because yesterday it looked like we were losing this level here, which was anticipated, and we sweep the 89,000 range. But then massive buying came in. Let's remove this thing here. And I mean, you see this massive long wick. We even closed this candle in the green and the daily candle yesterday. And now we have continued green. We are not out of the woods yet. We only would be if we subsequently head higher and take out this here, which would be the right shoulder of this head and shoulders pattern on the daily, right? But we haven't. So we will see how it continues. We could turn around at any moment and continue to try to liquidate everyone down here. But for now, I think whales are done with their game. So let's see. Yesterday we've talked a little bit about the wildfires, and today and speculated if there might be coming stimulus because of that. Well, today we received the notification that that's actually the case, even though it's only a beginning and we see how much will come. But listen to this.
And I want to be clear. We're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770, one-time payment, so they can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that, and $5.1 million has gone out. And I want to be clear.
Okay, so obviously people in a wildfire, if they get $770 to buy food, they will not buy crypto with it, right? But that's not the point of the whole thing. The point is that the government is stepping in and bringing money into circulation by giving it out, basically, right? And once that is started, usually in some shape or form, that is going to continue, right? The next one will be a fund for helping people to rebuild their homes. There will be other things where basically money is going to be printed to do this stuff, right? And that's only a part. The other part is obviously refinancing the debt and refinancing the interest payments of the debt and so on, and helping the economy. But we come to that in a second. Now, what we see is that and not because of that necessarily what we just saw, that was just one example, but what we see is that the US Fed balance sheet is now ticking up, which basically means that the Fed is putting in some way or form assets into their balance sheet. That either means they bought assets from the market or they put freshly printed money into the balance sheet, right? So either or, and both are bullish for the market sentiment to continue in the green, right? So we will see this little uptick, or this uptick here, if it will continue. But I mean, we're talking about a balance of 6.85 trillion. So this little uptick is quite a bit, right? So we see that the liquidity inflow into the market might have started with this uptick. So that is one factor. The other one is that quantitative tightening has continued because of other factors, not because of necessarily rate hikes, because we have seen that we have already experienced rate cuts, but maintaining rates stable is in fact quantitative tightening. So look at this from here, Julian Bittel, very great analyst in my opinion. So he says, so 25 basis point of rate cuts, i.e. one rate cut priced into the forward curve for all 2025 from the Fed, because people or the market is now anticipating that there's only going to be one rate cut. And he's saying, I take the other side on that. The recent rise in yields and the dollar, so the dollar is also going up, right? That's the DXY, and we can look at that in a second as well, is effectively a tightening of financial conditions, which should lead to a further drop in US economic surprises here soon. Financial conditions impact growth with a lag, around 2 months in this case. In my view, this paves the way for more rate cuts to get priced in over the year. That's how I see it anyway. So I see it in the very same way. I think that only because now there's only one rate cut priced in, that doesn't mean anything. It's just bearish sentiment. And the moment that there are these economic surprises coming in because of that, let's say, hidden financial tightening factor of a strong dollar, there will be more rate cuts. But that is only obviously an opinion. And we will see. But we have seen that last time that also that Trump took seat, the dollar turned around, and basically this strong dollar is harming the economy, right? So that is one. The other part of FUD is that there was US government Silk Road wallet had outgoing transactions, yeah, not only one but two, and each time, I don't know if they're funny or so, but they transferred $0.0069 BTC, which is approximately $633 test transactions. I don't know if that is just like a market manipulation maneuver where they just do that and poke the market a little bit and scare, or if they're testing for a final transaction to liquidate this Bitcoin, which they were cleared to sell now, just before Trump takes office, just so that the Bitcoin reserve that he would put in is smaller than expected, and maybe even force him to either buy that back or in the end leave with a smaller Bitcoin reserve than is actually promised, right? We'll see. NFT Hero says, Trump said the other day rates were too high, so he may influence it. Yeah, very likely. I think that is very likely. Yeah, and so this FUD is suppressing the price, although we also know that Germany liquidated 50,000 Bitcoin at a much lower level, obviously, but at 55,000 or something like that, and that was scooped up by the market within a week or so. And that's actually what we're seeing. Also, we have now seen that this liquidation that we just had basically sweep the downside of liquidity, and now whales are hungry for the liquidation of the upside. And we already see like the 95,000, everything of that has already been swept since the screenshot has been taken. Only the 96,000 not yet. So whales playing both sides once again here. And I think this is only where we need to be patient and just look at the whale game and see if they're done at some point, right? But overall, like even if you think about the 69,000 whatever Bitcoin from that Silk Road, even if there was a sale, right? You have to see how many companies are now buying Bitcoin all the time. And this, if there was no price suppression and no price manipulation in any shape or form, I think we would already be much, much higher, right? And that is because, I mean, there's only so much Bitcoin left. And these companies, they are buying almost on a daily basis. MicroStrategy is buying on a weekly basis. We see here Hong Kong-based Mingxing Group, a plastering and bricklaying works company, purchased 500 Bitcoin. I mean, that's more Bitcoin than is produced on a day. Only that, like a plastering and bricklaying company, right? So the more companies are understanding the game, playing the game, is probably the game of the end times of that system or so, because I can't imagine a world in which every company is buying Bitcoin and then the rest of the system runs stable, right? Something is off, something is weird, something is happening, right? These companies, they are seeing that the system is breaking, and they are reacting because the strategy is already working, because also so many people are seeing that the system is breaking, right? At the same time, we have Charles Hoskinson reporting a little bit on what's being prepared. Maybe we'll listen to this a little bit. It's only 1.5 minutes. Let's listen in.
Anytime there's a presidential transition, it's a very complex affair. And actually, the Treasury Secretary has yet to be selected, and they're kind of winnowing down. So that sets all crypto policy. So right now, most of the discussions are with the legislative branch. I'm having dinner tomorrow with Senator Scott. I've talked to numerous senators who are in the banking sector, basically figuring out how the regulation is going to work. And we've had some discussions with people transition team about what they want to do with a crypto committee, and if it's going to be a czar or if it's a commission, and what exact powers and how exactly does that work. And it's not exactly clear in how it's set up on the executive side, but on the legislative side, it's very clear what they want is to pass a law. So there were several attempts already in 2023. FIT 21 was the most successful, which passed the House, but it did not enter the Senate. And in the Senate, there was a bill in 2022 called FIA that was by Senator Lummis and Senator Gillibrand. So right now, there's some reconciliation of what does the executive branch want, what does the legislative branch want. What we've been told by the executive branch is Trump has a mandate that he wants America to be the #1 place to found and run a cryptocurrency business. There were also several campaign promises they're trying to connect to, for example, the strategic reserve for Bitcoin concept that also Senator Lummis is a big fan of. And there's a lot of things around asset classification that have to get resolved. The security commodity debate and what power should be reserved for the CFTC and the SEC. So it's still very early days, and we'll know a lot more in 60 to 90 days about how much level of broad industry participation is going to occur at the executive branch side. But we're already in talks with many people on the legislative side, and they're going to move forward as a co-equal branch of government with or without the executive branch to pass a law.
Okay,
Anytime
so basically, this is already, so this committee where Charles Hoskinson is part of, this crypto council, is actively working on how to implement right now. We have still 7 days left of Gary Gensler being the head of the SEC, so that is going to change. And then we see the legislative branch, what he means, like basically the legislative branch, the SEC, the executive branch, how they can work together to implement as much of the promises of these crypto promises in favor of what Donald Trump wants, right? So I think that's very bullish. We cannot underestimate that these people are already in talks how to fast implement that, and we see a time horizon of 60 to 90 days. That's only like the first quarter of this year, right? And there's so much to come. So I think it's at least looking very good for both the strategic reserve and more freedom for the crypto industry going forward, right? And that is very bullish for altcoins and also for Bitcoin, obviously. Plus, Charles Hoskinson being a major part there is extremely bullish for ADA. Who would have thought that, right? Now, let's continue a little bit on the companies that bought Bitcoin, because it's not enough with the bricks laying whatever company. It's also Semler Scientific bought another 237 Bitcoin, 23 million, right? Semler has bought already 2,500 almost Bitcoin in May, right? So they are not buying every day or every week, but now and then. And they just bought the dip, right? So it clearly shows that they think that Bitcoin is undervalued at these price levels, whereas MicroStrategy bought another 2,500 Bitcoin. And you already see, like, if you make the sum of only what has been bought from yesterday to today or in these days, we are at 3,200 or so only with these companies. Plus, Meta's board has been advised now, yesterday we covered it, to invest a part of its 72 billion in liquid assets into Bitcoin as a hedge against dollar devaluation. The proposal cites positive comment on BTC from CEO Mark Zuckerberg. I think he's also majority shareholder, so he basically can decide that alone. But it clearly shows it's like there's no way around Bitcoin anymore for other companies, even for Meta, right? And Meta sees a big opportunity here. Obviously, we will see how a bear market would impact these companies. Of course, there will be the talks about there is no bear market and blah, blah, blah. There will be a bear market, as there is a bull market even in crisis times. As crisis gets printed away by money, there will be also a bear market when money is taken away by the next tightening policy, right? So I think that's pretty clear by now. And yeah, I don't know, people will understand that. Bullish also that BlackRock, managing so many trillions of dollars, is basically putting out in their analysis that how crypto is basically outpacing the internet with all these millions of new users, right? So we have here in only 12 years the achievement of how many users years you need to achieve 300 million users. And right now, apparently, crypto already has 300 million users, 3 years faster than the internet has been adopted, right? And 9 years faster than mobile phones, which is, we see it with a lot of innovation that the adoption curves just are faster and faster right now. But overall, it's just the beginning, because the internet is now being used by almost everyone. Like smartphones And the internet, they're almost used by everyone in the world, except some monks in the mountains or whatever, right? But most of the people, even like the poorest people in the world, they adopted mobile phones, telephone, and internet, right? And the final step will be with all the Starlink and satellite availability, internet wherever, like even in the most outer parts of the world, people will use internet and therefore will have access to crypto, right? And with that, you can see that if this is the level of adoption with 300 people, we need more than a 3x of adoption, of total adoption, to reach 1 billion. And then we need another 8 to potentially 9 or 10x, because there will be more people, to have full adoption of crypto in the entire world, right? And I seriously even doubt the 300 million exact users, because it's very hard to determine users, because you can only count wallet addresses, really, and every person that uses crypto has more than one wallet. There's almost no way around it, because either you only have one wallet if you only buy on an exchange and you leave it there, right? And almost no one in crypto does that. So at the moment that someone turns on a ledger, they have a second wallet address, right? For Bitcoin. And then so many more wallet addresses for the other cryptos. So potentially, maybe even the million users number is a little bit lower. But that depends on the measuring. So all in all, crypto total market cap is about to go nuts, right? We always have this little spike, this little peak here in the first months. And you see it here in this previous cycle, the cycle that we're very likely mimicking. At the moment, we see it in the last cycle, also this little choppy sideways, whatever. And we see it here right now, together with an RSI spike and then pullback on that spike, right? And these are on different heights, but they always occur the same way. So I think that we might be in for a treat here over the course of the next months. The question is only, when will it start? But if you look at the overlays, we always have a dip in January. Always. Every time we have a dip in January. And it's potentially over, right? Maybe there's a couple of more days chop, but it should be over by the time that Trump takes office. Jasper Frank asks, I have to answer that because obviously get in front of any rumors. Jasper Frank says, has Veve contacted you about the affiliate program? No, they have not. At least I didn't see anything. I have an email address for the Patient Hodler channel, so I have to take a look at that. But I have not been contacted on Twitter or anything. So no contact for affiliate program. And quite frankly, I've never until now taken any partnership with any sponsors, as I want to completely focus on crypto content and this community. So I don't even know if I would take an affiliate program, but we will see. We will see. It depends on what you are supposed to do and say, right? I mean, it would take away a certain degree of being objective and saying what you want, right? And I don't know if that's good for the audience or for me, right? We will see. But quick look at the market. Some things are just appearing with the 12x in the altcoin market. Green Lantern says, Gem Boys, hit the like for the bull run. Absolutely. Janko's Gold Adventures also here. Morning follower sub. Yeah, new follower and sub. Welcome to that. Okay, something just appeared with a 7x here. So yeah, I think memes are still ripping, right? That is, by the way, the top 200. We have a little bit of green in the market, but I think what should show you that everything is all right and the bull run is intact is the fact that Fartcoin just did 35% on the day and is it's still down 11% on the week, but 75% on the month. So Fartcoin is still booming. That shows everything. What's also going good is Pengu, Radium, Hype, Virtual, AI16Z, and LDO. A couple of others in the green, stuff that we like Render and Arweave. They are a little bit in the green, not too much. And maybe we can look at one or the other altcoin. This to DXY. Where's my altcoin? Yeah, there we go. So Devi is still in a little bit in retest mode. Let's look at Vechain maybe, because we have it on the thumbnail, so we should look at it also. Let's look at Vechain. And the funny thing is that we did this overlay here, right? And I mean, you could argue that you're following it pretty well, right? So you see all of this is pretty much the same, like in the other cycle. Even this pullback, right? Even this pullback is almost the same. Structurally, let's look at it. This is the weekly. I mean, the pullback should be ending somewhere in this level to come out of a level of strength. So if we would rally, it would be actually no surprise to me. We're sitting now at 4.3 cents, coming all the way back from 8 cents, right? Which, by the way, was the first take profit zone, right? Which we missed just by a cent or so, right? But that would have been the first take profit zone, and the next one would be around the 20 cents. Maybe we readjusted a little bit just to make the numbers round. Can I do 8 cents exact and 20 cents exact? Because there's no point in having a take profit at 21 cents or stuff like that, because the levels would react at different states. So let's put it on 45. So this would be more reasonable, like 8, 20, 45 or something like that, right? And depending on how Bitcoin dominance goes. But that is Vechain. And yeah, that the idea is to see a continuation, and depending on how sharp the bull run is. What you don't want to see, obviously, is bearish crosses on any major indicators. Let's see how the monthly looks, by the way. Okay, so this is interesting, right? On the monthly, though, you can see this, right? If we were to draw a line on support here, right? Actually, let's try to do that, but it's so clear. Oh, we actually have that line. So it's this one, the white one, right? And we have even drawn this already in, right? On the monthly, you see basically a cup and handle here. And that cup and handle did not break out finally on the monthly, because you see these two long wicks here. It did not break out yet, right? It's still unconfirmed. We need a monthly candle above this to have a real breakout of this cup and handle on this monthly. But then we would be good to go to fire along, right? And we had the same structure in the previous run for Vechain. So that's only one altcoin, obviously. Let's see how Solana is doing. I think we had something drawn in on Kraken. I think it was on Kraken. No, it's not. It's always like the same thing with Solana. Like there's 1 million exchanges and my drawings are gone wherever they are. Also not on KuCoin. What the heck is this? Let's write Solana. Solana on, there we go, on Coinbase. Yeah, faked out. No, so the confirmation didn't happen here. We were expecting, actually we did break out, but we got rejected from the previous all-time high. and we are still anticipating $300 plus, right? Trucking Hank says, "Good to have you back, PH. My life feels normal again." Yeah, mine too. Like, it's the only thing that doesn't feel good about it is that in Brazil there was about 25 to 30 Celsius degree. I don't know what that is in US metrics or whatever, but and sunshine, right? So very comfortable temperatures. And then you come to Munich and you literally freeze your hands off in -7 degrees. But probably Canada is not much better. Yeah. That's Solana. Let's look at XRP as well. XRP USDT on Binance, and that is like, I think that's one of the most bullish charts that you can have. I mean, what the heck is going on with XRP, right? That's yeah. That level definitely and decisively has been retested and broken. Look at this candle. I mean, holy crap! This is the monthly chart, and XRP is just looking insane, fantastic. Should I mean, it's just going nuts, right? I mean, what can you say? It's just going up, right? I don't have any XRP, and quite frankly, I've never liked XRP that much. But I know that some of you do, and I hope that your bags feel enormously good right now, or that they feel enormous. That would be already enough, right? However, keep in mind that XRP is severely overbought on the RSI already. It's not in the 90 yet, but it's at 81, almost 82 on the monthly RSI. Which doesn't mean that it has to turn around, right? The RSI doesn't say anything about where you are in the price level, only whether you are more towards the overbought or oversold territory. That doesn't mean that XRP can't go to $3 or $4 or $5, right? Just keep in mind that one of the indicators shows an overbought level, okay? But XRP has a big community, and that's always where I think where people are a little bit misguided, because some people, they're like, oh, this technology of the project is so good, and this and that, but then this good technology project has only 2,000 followers on Twitter and is like, doesn't have really a fan base. There are no YouTubers talking about it and so on. It's like Vechain, right? Vechain, people say the opposite. Where is my Vechain, by the way? I closed it, I think. No, here it is. So for Vechain, people always say like, oh, the technology is bad and it doesn't have enough TVL, right? It's the contrary to the other example. But the matter of fact is that Vechain has 500,000 followers on Twitter and many YouTubers covering it, and many people liking it, and they have a very active channel, and they do a lot of work around visibility, right, with the partnership of the UFC. And as you see with meme coins, that's much more important than having few followers and good technology, right? Because the technology in this stage, it doesn't really matter, right? If you go, for example, if you go to Twitter and you search for Vechain, then you will see that the Vechain account has 621,000 followers, right? And it's basically posting every day, right? This is a repost from January to like 15 hours ago. They posted like Sunny Lu is on every interview and so on. Like, this is very important, right? And so if you are bullish on a project like Mcade or so, of course, Mcade is much smaller, but even that is like a low market cap project and has 60,000 followers. That's pretty good, right? Because there are coins that are bigger that only have 5,000 followers, right? And I think that's one of the most important things. Let's actually see how much followers Ecomi has. So Ecomi, for example, has 150,000 followers. The only problem is that they are not posting as much, right? So they have used this bridge, swap, whatever, to post something, but it's already a week ago, right? So that's not optimal. I'm still criticizing that. I hope that they listen, that they see this. If we are going to Ecomi though, and we should really discuss this, we are seeing a little bit. Maybe we have not yet taken the last step to a turnaround, but we are seeing a little bit of something that might hint at a turnaround, right? So let's quickly refresh here. So what we are missing is two things. For a turnaround, and this is only visible on the weekly, we are missing one thing, and that is that we put in a higher low, right? So we have this low, we have a nice high here. It's not a higher high, right? But we have a nice high. What we are missing now is to put in a higher low, right, for Ecomi. It's not there yet, so we could still go and put in a new low, right? And we could still drain, and we could still bleed. It's possible, right? There's all these things going on with the MB Technology versus Orbis lawsuit, a lot of FUD around that, a lot of negativity in general around Ecomi. What would definitely help is the technical show that the selling pressure, the whale pressure has faded, right? And we see that also here we had another whale dump to the downside, right? And you want to still see a turnaround from a technical perspective. In my opinion, this turnaround would look as follows. On a weekly scale, you put in a low, and this low would be only defined by a higher high as well, right? So that you have this trajectory. And then it can even reject here, no problem, right? But it needs to put in higher lows, right? So that you have like a massive macro bottom formation. And that's not there yet, in my opinion, right? So Dan O asked in the beginning what my end of year prediction would be. Let's assume for that prediction that Bitcoin tops out somewhere in the middle of the year at 200K, and that altcoin season starts towards the Q3 zone when money comes, or not starts, but continues to Q3 to the end of the year, somewhere there, right? Bitcoin dominance is not at the end. Bitcoin dominance will fall drastically. Hundreds of billions flow into crypto, into the altcoins. And Bitcoin just puts in a macro top, whatever, right? Towards middle end of the year. Let's just assume that. Then I would say there is a good chance that Ecomi goes back to these levels here, right? To this zone, 007, right? I know that from everything that people are dreaming of, that would be bearish to go back to this level by the end of the year. That is only that, but I would say from where we are right now, and conservatively speaking, in a big fat altcoin season, that would be the target that I'm looking at, and that would be a rough 20x from where we are right now. Okay, so I don't think that would be too bad or too shabby to go back to this level. It would be a decent return for an altcoin. But yeah, we will see. I mean, and this is very important, right? If we have a turnaround in Ecomi, then it needs to come together with just what Jasper Frank says, big YouTube channels coming and so on, right? It needs to be with a lot of Veve marketing Ecomi, like marketing Ecomi as a token, not only the collectibles, but Ecomi as a token, playing the NFT narrative as much as possible. and bringing on exchanges, right? We have the tier like Omi to NFT on Stacker, massive burns, like burns where people are then on the YouTube channel are calculating how these burns like reduce the Omi supply and yada yada. Veve coming out with a roadmap that has been promised. This point of the roadmap has been promised, or at least announced, not promised, maybe. That there's a new roadmap coming. That is what Ben Rose said on the Superstar Money interview. Exchanges, exchanges where US can buy, very important. Web3 approach, where the Web3 community feels okay that this is like Veve is Web3. Influencers, right? That's what Jasper means, and Omi in Veveverse. Disney to NFT, or better, Omi to Disney NFTs, right? Dan O says maybe it's easier for them to manipulate, or they just don't have faith things will go higher. For whales, it's easier to play this, right? And to make money in these moves, right? So the whales, they go in, they make a 200% gain, and then just dump into the euphoria, right? That's what they do, right? And the only thing is, if there is enough buying pressure on that, even on smaller news or so, at some point there's not enough to dump, and then the question is, when will the whale wallets run out, right? When? And also, will there be a whale that just says, okay, now it's time to go higher, just buys and doesn't dump anymore to create that excitement at some point, right? And that is really, yeah. Where is the turnaround, right? The problem is we don't really have macro time frame indicators, right? But one thing that is at least interesting. Let's get rid of all this clutter here. Let's get rid of that. There's so much stuff in here. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so I think you can see it right now. Or at least let's get rid of this all. And you see the structure, right? This falling wedgie thingy structure, right? On the monthly, the falling wedge is not broken, okay? But it's not broken, right? The orange lines, the falling wedge is not broken. Okay, so let me show you something of these falling wedges, right? It doesn't have to happen, but let me show you something. Okay, so let's take Devi. Devi is a coin that you guys like, right? So here is a falling wedge on the monthly, right? What happened after that? This. Okay, so once the falling wedge played out, and I mean, we can even look at it on the weekly. Here's the falling wedge. Boom, right? Okay, so once the breakout happened, the macro turnaround also happened, right? So only that Devi is way younger than Omi, right? But okay, Arweave. Okay, let's go on the monthly. Here's your falling wedge, right? Looks the same, like almost the same, like Ecomi, right? And once it's broken, boom, right? So it's really, I mean, it's the same like Devi, it's the same like, the question is only when, right? The question is when, and the answer can't be soon. That's basically what we, Omi USDT. That's basically what we need. But basically what you see where I'm getting at, right? With my monthly falling wedge here. You have this price action here. Yeah. And you have wicks that are going out of this wedge, but you don't have a decisive candle, not even a candle body coming out of that. And the question is, will you take another turn in here until this runs out of room? But usually these break to the upside, right? And the question is when and how and what leads to it, right? What is interesting though is this, right? Here, after so many red candles, we have a green candle, and look at the monthly volume on this candle. That volume is as high as it never been in the history of Ecomi. So that shows you something. Maybe let's go back and see if there's any volume profile or volume indicator on Devi, also on the bottom side. It's not that decisive. Let's look at the weekly. No, on Devi we don't see it. Let's see if we see it on Arweave as well, just to compare what we're seeing. Actually, we have one here, but that's in the middle, so that's not the... well, we see it here a little bit, but not much, right? But it's in general, it's interesting, right? The question is, when will it happen? Will it happen now, 1 or 2 months from now? But at some point, these wedges, they break up to the upside, right? Yeah, that was an interesting couple of weeks, absolutely. So Arweave, by the way, Arweave, right? It's a coin that I personally like a lot, and I think this support area here is perfect to find the bounce and to go into new, like much higher, right? Arweave has been much higher. You see it here. If you look at it on a log scale, without the log scale, we've been at 70. We are now at 15. I think that Arweave is definitely capable of taking out the previous highs. Right, that's only one coin. And this coin, by the way, like, I mean, Arweave has been looking pretty dead for a long time, right? Look at this, how Arweave is just got completely wrecked and then hovered along until it came back to life. And now it's basically wave 1 is complete, wave 2 might be complete, wave 3 will come. Rona says, good day, mate. Couldn't go to Brazil. Sorry about that. Good to have you here, though. Good to have you here, and no problem. There are many more Brazil trips coming, and we will find the chance. But yeah, so let's take a quick look at Veve also, because there is an interesting drop on Veve, a very interesting one, and that is the Galactus drop, right? By the way, only now I understand that they have a reference for Galactus in World of Warcraft. By the way, what is this? Dear Vechain esteemed community members, what is this? On behalf of Hands in Factory, I would like to express our deepest heartfelt gratitude to Veve and each member of your vibrant community. It fills us with immense joy to see individuals from around the world embracing and supporting the creations we have tirelessly worked on in our small studio in Seoul, South Korea. Okay, so I think that that's the up tempo. Okay, so they're thanking. How much following do they have though in Korea? 53. That's the channel. Well, let's give them a follow so that they can grow a little bit. Cool. 53 is not much though, but it's very small. Maybe they have just come to Twitter, or I don't know. Interesting. So Galactus drop back, because Galactus drop is a little bit of a bigger one, and the article reveals why. So here we go. The Devourer of Worlds. And so there's again this drop format. There's a common and there's a chase in the common. And I think Veve found a good recipe to combine this chase drop without making the secret rare always the new chase variant, right? So it's $20 and there's only 140 editions on the chase, right? And then there's almost 7,000 editions on the normal one. Why? Because they're providing this drop mechanic. And what I think they should do, and with like there will be stock, right? So they will have this event and there will be stock, and at some point no one mints these anymore, and I think they not necessarily have to burn everything that is left over, right? They could do some drops where they burn everything right after 1 day or so, to reward the collectors that are really excited. But for some drops, they could just remarket it, right? At, I don't know, like promote it again, like, hey, there's still this and that on the shelf, so that new users, they have to display it in the app, because new users, they don't see what's still left in the app, right? Left over in the store. So I think they should remarket something, right? But then, okay, so let's see here. So if you want to craft, then the next version is the uncommon. You have to spend 500 MCP points. So that's not, and you are burning the common. So it's an evolving drop, right? But now it gets interesting, because in the next stage, you spend 1,000 MCP, another 699, like comic style. You burn the uncommon, so another evolution. And then you have this one here. This is super funny, because the ultra rare now, it actually burns the rare and the Silver Surfer collectible. So the Silver Surfer is around since 2 or 3 years on the app. It costs 5,000 MCP. It costs only $10, and it burns away from the Silver Surfer supply, which is interesting, right? So there will be, the mechanic is that either this collectible at some point gets very valuable because it's scarce, or the Silver Surfer gets more scarce because people are printing or minting this collectible to get to get something out of the market. And this one only will have 1,000 editions. In case that everyone mints these 1,000 editions, though, it means that the Silver Surfer will only have 1,000 or something editions left, turning into somewhat of a grail piece then, because the Silver Surfer, as far as I recall it, only has 2,000 or something, 2,300 editions or something like that, right? Rona says, come on people, there are 24 watching now and just 14 likes. Smash the likes for more alpha content. Yeah, please smash up the like button if you like the live streams. If you enjoy the live streams, I would really appreciate it. So this is an interesting drop. And then you have another variant which you can print, which is the Chase variant, another 300. The Chase variant that also burns the Silver Surfer. So people will burn maybe multiple Silver Surfers to get this Chase variant of the Galactus. So in total, the potential is to burn 1,300 Silver Surfers. Now, I have not been stacking one, but I bought a Silver Surfer at 19 gems, and now I think the floor is like beyond 40. Yesterday when I looked, it's beyond 40. So I am curious how the Silver Surfer thing looks once, and the question is, will Galactus drop be the only one that requires Silver Surfer, or will there more in the future just constantly eating up supply? And also that could mean that for other collectibles, the same happens, right? And then there's a diorama that doesn't need anything. You can just buy the diorama. Q1 VET price prediction. I would say not Q1, but in May. I would say if we get a continuation of the run, I would say by April, May, we are beyond 10 cents, like 15 cents or so, 14 cents. I don't know, something like that. I would say, but that depends on whether we get a nice run, like a nice wave 3. I would say somewhere between 10 and 20 cents then. But let's see how it develops. That would be nice, right? I mean, 15 cents, that would be a big fat that would be a big fat bag then there, right? Let's say you have 100,000 Vechains valued at 15 cents. That's already a nice bag, right? Yeah, but these and the quality of these NFTs is pretty good, right? So these look great. What, by the way, what does that mean? Like, are these the symbols for what's needed for the burn or so? But these look nice. Adam says, I expect above 30 cents. That can, it can happen. I'm just a little bit curious if we are already by then in the big altcoin season drop, or if we're just moving along with Bitcoin. Because right now, for example, we have been going from the bottom of 1.5 cents of this cycle bottom to 8 cents with Bitcoin, right? And now we came back to 4.3 cents. We almost have a 50% drawdown with Bitcoin staying at these levels. So once Bitcoin moves again, the potential is there to go beyond 10 cents, but not necessarily we are in that big altcoin season drop then, right? This depends on how this Bitcoin dominance looks in the end, right? So BTC.D here, right? I mean, we are at these nice altcoin levels. I mean, for me, it looks nice. We are at these nice altcoin levels with Bitcoin dominance basically being still on the rise. I mean, still a downtrend from here, and probably we're going to turn around at some point. But basically, we are close to all-time, or not all-time highs, but cycle highs. We're close to cycle highs with Bitcoin dominance. I mean, imagine what's happening to altcoins if we're taking a drop like this. It's going to be completely nuts. It's going to be insane. But I think there still needs to happen some things before that can happen, right? Hey, Chris Klein, what's going on? It's been a while since I've been here to listen and watch. Been working a lot of early mornings. Glad I caught at least some of the show tonight. Well, welcome, Chris, and I hope your flow key is going really, really well in the next couple of months. Janko says, do you like Casper for investment? I think Casper's pretty big, but I like Casper. Chris Klein says, I've been shorting Casper and LTC during this little downtrend. I don't like to short the market at all, but I have to make up for the lack of gains somehow. Wow, that is really good. Like, if you can handle shorts and longs, I mean, this is really good, right? Because you can make money in every market. I personally, I only go long. I buy stuff, right? But I never really shorted the market, right? Especially in a bull market, it's extremely risky. But if it works out, I'm really glad that it does for you. Roman says, missed you. I missed you guys and this these Crypto Morning Coffee live streams so much in that time. So I'm really glad to get back to this. So really happy to be here. I'll never stop stacking Floki and LTC for sure. Well, at some point you need to stop stacking and taking profits, right? So that's also for sure. Anyways, guys, I think the market is looking really good. Bitcoin is sitting at 95,000 after sweeping 89,000. So that's nice. What is this bounce, by the way? 6.6% in less than a day. And we will see more volatility because today we are getting PPI month over month, a first glimpse into producer price index PPI, first glimpse into inflation rates. Then we get core inflation on the 15th. That could send Bitcoin to either direction. We get retail sales and we get housing starts and building permits in the end of the week. So more economic data could cause big volatility. But on that note, guys, smash up the like button once more. Please smash up the like button if you haven't yet. It really helps the channel, and it would, it doesn't cost you anything to do so. And let's see the comment from Adam here first. When that price went to 8 cents, I thought it's gonna go straight beyond that instead of 50% pullback. Should have sold it, but I hold everything till now. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in looking back and guessing that, because what if it had fired to 20 cents and then done a pullback to 10 cents? And then you would be like, oh, I sold at 8 cents, now I have to buy back higher, right? There's no point in that. I think there's the bigger point is looking at indicators like Bitcoin dominance and see whether we are in a take profit territory or not. And for me, we're not there yet. So looking back at these things, not really worth it. But anyways, guys, I have to go. Smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you in the next live stream or video. Have a good one, and bye.